Welcome back to Business Success. I'm Chloe James on Valentine's Day. Sydney Soirée is an unforgettable roaming dinner party for the socially adventurous. Sounds pretty cool, right? It's a great concept, and at its heart, it's simply about bringing people together. Its founders, Susanna Clean and Patrick Millington-Buck, who I've been told I can call Paddy, are here to tell me all about it. Paddy, Suz, welcome to Business Success. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having us, Chloe. Very excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Tell me about Sydney Soirée, this business idea that you guys had, and it's really taken off.
Yeah, so Sydney Soirée essentially is a social networking events company aimed at 20 to 30-something young professionals looking to meet new people in a new and exciting way. At the very core of our concept is what we call roaming dinner parties, and I'll pass over to Paddy to actually explain exactly what that is.
Yep, great.
Sure. Well, before we do that, Chloe, I'd just like to give you a Valentine's Rose and a happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you so much.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Very romantic.
It'd only be fair.
Love it. Thanks, Paddy.
Look, the best way to describe it is probably the way in which you would do it. So you would sign up with a group of friends, so you and 3 others. And our last event, the girls cooked dinner. So what that would mean is that you would cook a 3-course meal at one of your girls' houses, and you would have a group of guys come for each course.
Yep.
So you stay where you are.
Cool.
And the guys move from house to house, and it's an hour for each course.
Wow.
So it's all about the food and wine, but also meeting others, but also hanging out with your friends whilst you have dinner.
So it's kind of like, there's the icebreaker, right? That, I mean, I was just talking to Max from 2Ps. That's online dating, and that's those one-on-one experiences, but you're creating something that perhaps softens it a little bit for someone who might be a bit nervous.
Oh, of course, yeah, because you're doing it with your friends, right? So the thought of going on a dinner date with someone who you've just met can be a little bit daunting, of course, but when you're doing it with your friends, it can be a real laugh, and obviously there's a food and wine element to it as well.
Yeah, well, we love food and wine. Suz, where did the idea come from, and so when and where and how did this all kind of come about?
Yeah, so we've been around for about 3 years now, so actually to the date, February 2014, Paddy and I were sitting around having a glass of wine, and I was fairly new to Australia. Paddy had been here a year longer, and look, roaming dinner parties are not a new concept. They've been around for a long time, but what no one has done is actually thought of a way to commercialise them, and that's what we did. And look, it started off literally with, I think we can do this. I think it's the concept. I think it's got legs. Yeah. So literally we got 24 of our mates. We wrote them in and said, let's give it a whirl.
Yeah.
And we were like, this could really fail or it could actually take off, and it did the latter. It absolutely took off. People love the concept. They love the new and innovative way of meeting people.
Yeah.
We were an expat community, so it's really directed at helping people make new networks. Actually, now we're about 70% Australian, so we've actually done what we set out to achieve and appealed to the domestic market.
Yeah.
And so from 24 people where it started, we're now up to 500 we've had on our roaming dinner parties, roaming around the eastern suburbs alone, and now we think the world's our oyster in terms of where we can go and geographic locations, etc.
Exactly. I want to talk about growth. Can I bring it
of course,
about growth here? I mentioned when I sort of said something on my Instagram earlier, your London partners were like, have a great show, Chloe, tonight. You know, I know Sydney Soirée. So tell me about how big this has gotten.
Yeah, so we've now launched in London. So interesting story about our London business. So Sophie, who's setting it up, she actually met her fiance on a Sydney Soirée event.
At my house?
At Suz's house, yeah. And they're getting married over in London, and she's setting up the London Soirée, and that's going really well. So we've got our first event. Well, we've had our first event 2 months ago, and that's going from strength to strength as well.
This is brilliant. So it really is back to that bringing people together, right? Suz, is that something that you're, passionate about in this kind of day and age that we live in? Everyone's working hard and busy. I'll get on to in a minute how busy you two are, but is that really important to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think at the very core of our business is the fact that we are fairly social individuals, we'd like to think, and we're always stretching and going beyond our boundaries. So even the move from England to Australia, it suggests a kind of way that we want to live our lives, and that's to go out, it's to meet new people, it's to have new experiences, it's to do new things, and we've taken that ethos into our business as well. And kind of the energy that people feel from actually taking part in these events, and the appetite has been so big that look, I think everyone is open to meeting new people if you put them in the right environment and make them feel comfortable, and that's the kind of the way the business has evolved and the way the business has worked, and the more we spread the word, the more people buying into it. It's great.
I love your passion here and talking about energy and culture of the business. It's obviously something that you two bounce off each other as well.
Oh, absolutely. Paddy and I have actually known each other for about 15 years, and there's nothing like going into business with your best mates.
Yeah.
It makes the whole process and the whole journey that much more exciting and that much more fun.
Yeah, that's great. Paddy, would you agree? agree there?
No, absolutely. You know, I think working with people that you can feed off as well, and I think what me and Suz have and the other partners is this energy and drive to really kind of connect and actually bring people together. It's a really kind of important part of obviously what we do, but something that we really believe in as well.
Talking about the energy and drive then, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty of actually having a business. I mean, this all sounds fun and it's food and wine and dinner parties, but there's a lot more that goes into it. So can you talk a little bit, because I know you have other jobs as well.
Of course, and I think, you know, with any business you've got to have that passion behind it, but it's also, you know, willing to put in those hours after work, weekends and things. You know, we do work really hard as well in our normal jobs, but I think if you find something that you're really passionate about and you really believe in, then it never feels like it's a chore. But of course there is the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, which not everyone always knows about. But it's something that, you know, you've obviously got to put in order to grow anything really.
Absolutely. I want to just kind of make a point here about so to come to one of the dinner parties, you go to the website, you check it out, you join. It's I think you were saying it was every about sort of 3 months to keep it fresh?
we kind of do it quarterly, so we don't want the concept to get boring. I mean, not that it would, but it's all about keeping it fresh, keeping it innovative, which is why we don't want to do it more and more times, so that people kind of think, oh yeah, I've been to one and I'm not going to go to one because it's just next week.
I'm going to see all the same people again. That's not the point, right?
And look, we've got a lot of repeat offenders, but
repeat offenders, steady.
Look, we've got a lot of very loyal customers and people that really, they do it again and again because they love the experience, but it's because we're not doing it every week, and it's about keeping it fresh, it's about keeping it relevant, it's about giving people a new experience every time, and that's what's going to keep us at the top of our game. We're going to have to keep reinventing the wheel because, you know, there's going to be more and more competition in the market. We found a gap in the market, it's working, but people are obviously going to feed in and bounce off that, and the concept of roaming dinner parties is going to grow, and so we need to keep ourselves at the very forefront of that innovation, and doing it weekly isn't going to do that. It's going to be about going into new geographic locations, it's going to be about doing things slightly differently every time, taking a new edge on it.
A different kind of event. And is this something that you two sit down together and kind of, you know, talk through and thrash out ideas?
Saturday night in the pub, me and Suz come up with all sorts of ideas.
Are all of your other friends going, I'm sick of hearing about this? Or
no, they love it.
Well, often, and I think the amount of times that people have come up to me and said, Paddy, I've got this great way in which you should do this, or you know, have you thought about that? And I think we've been really open to that. You know, we love people coming on board, whether that's partners or people having ideas. So that's been really important to us. We've really kept a kind of open mind over bringing others in.
That's a really good point, and I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs on the show, and a lot of the feedback I get is, you know, tell people your idea and don't be afraid to kind of keep it to yourselves in case somebody else steals it. That's where you're going to get some great ideas.
Yeah, because I think you can definitely be very, very protective of it, especially if it's doing really well. People can go, well, I could just copy this tomorrow, and we've always said that. We've always said, yeah, of course.
You can't pay
someone could obviously do this and set up another company that does exactly the same. But we've always gone, well, yes, but then why not? Why not kind of embrace that? And if there's anyone that wants to get involved, then obviously they can.
They can.
Fine,
That's brilliant. We've got to wrap up soon. I told you it would go really quickly, Suz. But any advice that you'd give to business owners out there, or advice that you've been given that you think has really sort of seen you in great stead for what you're doing today?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's definitely comes from childhood and playing sport, and Paddy and I are both sportswomen and men. It's never give up. There's going to be challenges along the way, and whether that was, you know, how do we even set up a business? None of us did a business degree. How do you set up a business? Those challenges present themselves, and you battle through them, or gosh, we haven't got enough people for this event, or we don't, or the venue's fallen over, so we've got to go somewhere else. Never give up, and actually never ever miss an opportunity, because there are always opportunities out there, and that's a motto that Paddy and I have had for probably about 5 years now as a team, ever since we've been here, and spotting those opportunities and going with it and going along the journey has always been what we've lived by and what we'll die by.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and doing it with such great spirits. You're the
Thank you.
Thank
you very much.
You're the same there with it. Anything that you do in your personal life that you... I mean, in your personal life is probably a lot of this kind of stuff. But do you have any other times?
Well, exactly this. You know, I mean, coming here and being out of your comfort zone, and that's, I think, you know, for both me and Suz, it's about doing new and different things, whether that be travel or sports or meeting new people. That's what we like doing anyway. So the event is basically that. I mean, we're throwing together a dinner party where you meet 12 different boys or girls, and it's out of your comfort zone. So I like doing those kind of things anyway, a little bit off the beaten track, and so does Suz. So I think that obviously reflects very well in our business as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, you can feel the energy from you guys. I'm just sitting here loving it. You've got a Sydney Soirée on tonight, I understand.
Yeah, we've actually hosted a Sydney Soirée takes on Valentine's Day cocktail party, something a little bit different.
Nice.
So it's kind of we've got people in the room who obviously don't know each other, and they've come with one friend or two friends, and they've all been thrown into a room together. We've had a jazz singer, we've got a DJ on right now. It's all going on back behind. We left it behind.
Are you hearing that?
We are, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I might come with you.
Oh yeah, please do.
Listen, thank you so much for coming on Business Success. I love the idea, the energy. You are true entrepreneurs, exactly what we love to sort of hear on the show. So thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having
Sydney
us.
Soirée, check them out. That's it from me at Business Success for another week. Happy Valentine's Day. I've got my rose. I look forward to seeing you next week at 9 p.m. Good night.